Hi, this is the Lourdes and Chris Show. This gorgeous, stunning, brilliant angel to my right. You know what the thing of it is? We're wearing the same outfits. I just want to get that out of the way.
Yeah, and you know why? Because we already talked about that.
Yeah.
We said that we were going to show Dr. Grant the next 2 episodes.
It just didn't make sense for us to change our clothes for that, guys. Yeah.
It's like, let's just do it. Let's do another episode while we have him, because he is busy helping so many people, as you saw on the first thing. So, by the way, amazing.
Yep. So this gorgeous, amazing brilliance to my side here is my angelic wife, Lourdes. We're in the same clothes because that's how we rock and roll this thing out. I absolutely love her. She's my favorite person in the world, and I know you do too. And I know that every time people watch this show, they're really watching you. I understand. I get it. No. I watch her too whenever I can. Silly. And I am more excited than a particle in a particle accelerator.
Ooh.
That's how
that would be exciting.
I'm saying.
Do you think it would be exciting to watch?
I don't think they can even see it. That's the weird thing about it. I think
tiny particles.
Yeah, because they're tiny particles. I think they just
unless they go under a microscope and they can see.
No, but not even then, because it's super shot. They shoot them at each other and they break apart. But how exciting is that for that particle? I'm just a particle, and they're like, oh no, now I get to be shot at another one, and then
I get to go flying around.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
And this is my husband, Chris, who I dearly love with all my soul and heart, because he is such an amazing man who really changes my life on a constant basis, and he doesn't really realize that. Every moment with him is always a blessing. So thank you for that.
Got you, babe. Thank you. So if you haven't gone on to the LourdesandChrisShow.com, then please join us. That's where that's our home base right there.
Oh, yeah.
You can see all the former episodes on the LourdesandChrisShow.com. And if you subscribe to the newsletter, we do send out little notices every now and then. Right now, we have a call to get stories from people that have healed themselves naturally, what they had, how they healed themselves naturally, so that we can start a little segment called Naturally. Looking forward to that. So if you already haven't hit us up with your story, please do so. And then while you're on the Lourdes and Chris Show, you can actually see the products that we highly recommend and that we use on a regular basis, including the Root brands.
Yes. And when you want to go on the Root brands to get it, well, let me tell you what you need to do.
Ooh.
Just go to therootbrands.com/create option C. Sign up. It's free. There is no charge. It is an affiliate, so you need a referral code. The referral code is create option C. When you go on there, just register, go in there and purchase the amazing products that we use on a daily basis, and it's how we start our morning.
You know, feedback that we've been getting from people that have started taking it, and including us, is just that it's just been downright amazing.
Well, you physically, it's funny because as you're putting in all the right stuff, you know, your body runs the way it should. Like when you were a kid, you can feel almost like the reversal of aging.
Yeah.
And I actually, every day I look in the mirror and I'm going, I feel like I look a little younger. And I can compare that to my past videos, my past photos. I'm like, actually, I am. So it's rebuilding and healing the body. Well, I should say the body's actually.
I was just going to say the body's doing the work.
The body is healing and rebuilding because I gave it the building blocks for it to do so.
You just gave it the right stuff that the body needs.
That's right.
And once it had the right stuff, it goes, I know what to do with this. And look at you now.
Yep.
Just kicking butt, taking names. And listen, the reason why I'm more excited than a particle that's been put into a particle accelerator and rushed into smashing another particle is because this week is part 2 with Dr. Grant. Dr. Grant, wow. This time, the second episode, we kind of got into some viewer questions.
You got some viewer questions, but then it went into even more than just.
Well, that's because sometimes, you know, when you're working with Dr. Grant, it's very organic, because what he does is he'll take a question and then he'll go in a different way, and you go, oh, I need to know about that too, please.
Yeah. So he doesn't just cover and answer the question, but he goes more in depth with even more information that we wouldn't even thought of asking.
Hey, maybe that's why his website is called Depth Healing. Yeah, depthhealing.org is how you would get a hold of him. His link is below inside the description in the bio. Yep. We absolutely love Dr. Grant. He is our in-house quantum doctor for a reason.
Quantum field. Yeah, the quantum field.
Yep. Gotcha. He's the in-house doctor of the quantum field. Right. I didn't say it right. I did it now. Okay. So without further ado, I think we should just get into it. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Grant.
So we are back on part 2 with Dr. Grant, our in-house quantum field doctor, who is extraordinary, amazing. We love him. I know you guys love him. And we got more information to give you guys to share, because I think this will blow your mind.
Well, what you saw last week is Dr. Grant, before we started the show, you had said, look, there's a lot of information I want to share. So if you need me for a couple of episodes, I'm your guy. So we're taking advantage of that.
So we're taking advantage.
Yeah, for sure. So it's so good that you were able to come back again and do this with us.
Yes.
It's an honor, folks. Total honor.
Okay, so I did have some viewer questions that we needed to ask you about. So we made a call out for people to like, hey, what questions do you have for our quantum field, our in-house quantum field doctor, Dr. Grant? And one of the questions that came up was about self-forgiveness. And this is a good one because I think when you had a session with me, and just so you folks know, when Dr. Grant has a session with you, he's going into your past, he's cleaning up all these bad things that are kind of you're lugging around with you in your energy field, and he clears those up for you. So that's what he does. But some of the things that came up for me, if you recall, were things that I felt bad for. For example, when my brother was in and out of the hospitals, I was very cruel to him, and one time I made him cry. I felt bad about that, so I was still kind of carrying that with me. So there's this whole thing about self-forgiveness as well. But the question that we had specifically said, what if this thing that you've forgiven yourself or you thought you did keeps showing up again and again for you? What is that?
To be completely frank with you, nobody is able to forgive themselves until or unless they are able to actually love themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so what I do, like what Chris was saying in his case with his brother, what you do is you have to, what I do is I go into, like in Chris's case, I go into his field and I locate how much pain is he still carrying in his field from those days or from his brother or during that time. I remove that, and I remove remorse, and I go through an entire list until I exhaust all of the energies that are still attached and keeping the memory and everything alive. Once I take all the power out of that, and as I'm doing that, of course, his perception of himself and the event is changing, because I'm removing line by line all of the various stories attached to that, including Chris's childhood. I'll go back and find out where the original download events were, at what age, from whom, mother, father, whatever, and I remove that. Now, once everything is disassembled down to zero, then you're able to see yourself. And if you can just see yourself, you're just a human being. The fact of the matter is, things are not our fault. When I say that, that's a big statement. What does that mean? Everything in the universe, everything, down to the tiniest Planckian unit, is dependently arising and dependently ceasing. Now, think about that for a second. Everything is dependently arising and dependently ceasing. If you really delve into that, you cannot have a victim and a victor. There's no such thing actually as an event. So if Chris had something with his brother, without his brother, Chris can't have the issue. Without Chris, his brother can't have the issue. They are dependently arising, dependently ceasing. Why did it happen? Well, what happened? What is the subconscious issues in Chris's brother? What are the subconscious issues in Chris? What happened to their mutual father and their mutual mother? And what happened to their mother and their father? And it's all connected completely. So actually, when you and I or anybody, when we have an argument or there's something happens, the whole universe, if you want to get real fancy about it, the whole universe is actually involved. Now, we're still human beings, and we do something and we feel real bad about it. There's a whole hell of a lot of things I feel real bad about. So, where is the ultimate forgiveness occur? It occurs after we die. There'll be a point, not so long after we die, and we have what's called a life review. And when the life review comes, takes about 3 to 5 minutes of Earth time, but it'll be your entire life, every moment of your life. You will see it. We will see it. But how do we see it? We see it and experience it from the other person's experience. So if we killed a rat, we're going to experience the pain and the terror of the rat. If we hurt our brother, we're going to experience that event from his side. We're going to experience that. Now, the forgiveness part is this. At that time, we're going to judge ourselves. No, God's going to judge you. You're going to judge yourself the way we judge people while we're alive now. That's where I'm scared to death of that, because I still am a very judgmental man. And I'm terrified of that. We're going to judge ourselves how we judge in this life now. That's why it's important to reach a level of consciousness that's compassionate and full of love. So you look at yourself at that time, and if you can't forgive yourself or understand it from a high perspective, then you will choose to go down. If you can, you'll choose to go into the light. And that's how that works. So it's very important to forgive yourself, but what you got to understand is you will only be able to forgive yourself if you can accept yourself. If you think that lustful thoughts are ugly and you condemn them, you're condemning that part of yourself, because I can assure you, you have lustful thoughts. We have revengeful thoughts. We have jealous thoughts. We have hateful thoughts. All those thoughts are in every single human being. I don't care if the guy has a halo around him 6 feet thick. He's got all of those in him. The only difference with him and us is he accepts it all and he doesn't stick to it. He doesn't judge it. See, a real emotion, let's say you get real mad at your friend. Anger, the actual emotion only lasts 90 seconds max. Everything after the 90 seconds is a story. Where does the story come from? That is the subconscious and all the associations that it builds, all the references, all the perceptions. That's a story. When you see enlightened people, the story, what happens in enlightenment, the story goes away.
Right.
When the story goes away, it's very easy to forgive yourself because you can see yourself. If a horrible thought comes, that you'll be able to see it, and then you just let it go. You don't identify with it. Oh, I'm a bad person because I just saw a real good looking girl in a bikini and I'd like to make love to her. No, they don't judge that. It's the judgment and the naming that gets us in trouble.
Sure.
So self-acceptance is how you forgive yourself. In order to accept yourself, you're going to have to love yourself. And it requires a degree of consciousness and a degree of awareness. Anything, if it's not up high enough, you won't be able to do it. And that's why you get somebody like me. I go in every time I'm removing and cleaning those things out. Your consciousness is rising.
Clean Slate was formulated with proprietary patent-pending techniques that ignite the utility processes, creating bioavailable silica from nature's most powerful source and adding trace minerals and vitamin C.
And the result is revolutionary. Silica with ingredients that in combination work towards a higher standard of bioavailability, safety, and efficacy to support systemic passive cleansing of the body while simultaneously enhancing pathways to heal and regenerate.
Yeah, we absolutely love Clean Slate because what it's really doing is just cleansing you out in a way that you're not going to get sick, you're not going to have a breakdown.
No, you actually feel better.
Yes, you do.
I love the stuff. It's like it breaks things up so they can get it out while at the exact same time it puts in what you need. And that's the best way to do it because just taking things out can cause an autoimmune disorder and you don't want that.
Yeah.
So
we do live in a toxic environment, so it is important for you to cleanse every day, which is why we do it every day as part of our Root Brand Trinity. You should do the same. Go to therootbrands.com/create option C.
yes.
It's rising. That's it's a process. It won't happen overnight.
I mean, that makes sense because a lot of times you think of when you feel bad about something, but then you kind of remind yourself everything is happening according to the way it needs to get you to your next mission, to your next level, to your next understanding. Because sometimes something happens and you feel upset about it, but then you go, oh, but because that happened, actually this good thing came out of it.
Sure.
So that had to, it made, you know, it's like you said, if you don't judge it, if you just go, there's a reason for this.
Yeah.
And you learn from that, and it lets you, it's like, you know, it lets the flower blossom to the next step that you need to go to, or the next journey without judging why. And I think the judgment is what keeps us there, and we don't get out of it because we're stuck thinking about it.
You know, a real simple, Sri Bhagavan will say you need a bird's eye view. Here's a bird's eye view. Let's say you're looking at, we're adults and you're looking at two little kids, little itty bitty kids, and they're playing in the sandbox. And the one little kid, he or she made himself a little sandcastle. And the other kid sticks their foot in it. So a big drama starts right now. To those two little kids, that's a big deal. And there's crying and yelling and all kinds. But when you're mom or dad and you're watching your kids, you see it from a higher perspective because it's an interaction.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see the whole because you're up. So that's how we have to see our life. You know the old saying, it takes two.
Yeah.
Right? You can't argue. It's pretty hard to argue with yourself. Maybe some people can, but they'll probably be looking in the mirror and that'll make the two. But you understand, it's always the Gestalt means the whole. It's always a whole. And that's why it's dependently arising, dependently ceasing.
And that makes sense.
Oh,
because you don't see the whole picture. That's why even later, when something does occur, a year later, you look back, it's like, oh, I see the whole story now. Because you couldn't see the full story at the time. And I mean, we do that all the time.
All the time.
Every time something comes up and we're just like, this doesn't make sense. And why is this occurring? And you kind of let it go. And then later we're like, that's why. And then we completely see the reason why it needs to be the way it needs to be.
Yeah,
but
it's
always a good thing.
It's an orchestration.
Yes.
Everything is an orchestration. And they, I'm not, now remember, now when I'm talking enlightenment, I understand about it, but I am not enlightened. For enlightened people like Eckhart Tolle, everything is happening automatically. Mm-hmm. For us who are not enlightened, and it's correct for us, we're trying to cause things to happen.
Yes.
Yes.
But once a person's enlightened, it flips from doing to being. Yes. And that's a different thing.
That is a difference. When you're busy trying to do something and it doesn't go the way you want it, you're almost like fighting what's supposed to happen, but you don't want it to happen, so you're trying to struggle with it, and it still doesn't go your way anyway. You just frustrate yourself. Yeah. So I agree. I think it's when you just let go and you let it be. And I think it makes me think of when people pray and ask God for patience. And then they're like, I asked God for patience, and all these things are happening. It's like, because you got to practice and work that muscle that's weak. You know, you ask for patience, and all these things start happening that you now have to have patience for. And it's funny, or give me strength. Then you have all these things start occurring, so you can learn to have strength. So it's
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
yeah. So it's like, be careful what you ask for.
Yeah, how you ask them.
It is true. That actually is true. It really
Yeah,
is.
because I always was like, oh, you know, I want to be a difference in the world, and I just feel like there's this thing, and then all of a sudden I'm like, woo, be careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that was a doozy. I mean, I went through it and came on the other side better for it, and learned so much from it, and had the most amazing experiences. I mean, seeing spirit guides and angels and all these, you know, visions, it was amazing.
Wow.
But what I needed to go through just to get there was like, woo. So I was clear that when you're asking for something, or when you want to receive something, you have to understand that there's a whole picture to that, and you have to be willing to go through it. Yeah, it's not a.
That's
it's not
right. That's
yeah.
absolutely right.
Oh yeah.
Well, you mentioned something that was kind of one of our viewers had asked about this as well. So you had mentioned the spirit guides, the spiritual
Yes.
guidance, and then we've actually heard some people talk about entities as well. So we had questions about that. These entities that some are malicious and some are good, and how do we push out the negative or the bad entities and accept the good entities was the question.
Right, and is an entity good when they come in? I mean, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Or
Is
maybe
it-
I'm not using the right vocabulary.
Yeah, I was gonna say an entity is an entity that's getting in a system that shouldn't be there, I would think. Right?
What's
Because
that, honey? I couldn't hear you.
I would think that when it comes to an entity, I can't imagine an entity being good, because you should be in your own soul of who you are, experiencing the life you need to. You don't need something to step in it and interrupt that flow. So I was just telling Chris that I don't know if there's a good entity. I think, you know, it's interrupting because why is it there?
Well, I'm just wondering if that's really, it comes down to semantics or vocabulary, because I do believe in spiritual guides, because Lord has met them. So I know.
Oh, heck yes.
Yep.
So how would we separate ourselves from entities, or make sure we can't be affected by entities, but embrace or attract spiritual guides then, if you want to use that word? Versus
angels, yeah.
Okay, it's a very good question, especially right now. There's I have a number of clients right now. It seems like the negative kind of entities, some of them are really malicious, some of them are demonic, some of them are satanic, and they seem to be on the rise, at least in my experience, because I deal a lot with that stuff. And this is a critical time. The critical mass for humanity is within and by the end of 2024. So the divine or the light and the dark side have always been one against the other, but now it's coming to a head. Okay, and it's the divine is stepping up its power to try to save us in an exponential level way. Certain areas of the population are aware of that, and to destroy that is the dark side. And it's not such a good thing to talk about the dark side much, because it gives it more power, but it's very powerful.
I can see that.
It's very powerful. Every time you see someone running around with a mask on in the middle of a healthy environment, you're looking at the dark side winning. Anytime you see a 5G tower that destroys all biologic life, anything like that. So the satanic black magic, they're using black sex magic in that. It's especially powerful in LA, and attacks are coming all the time. So when we say an entity, and I myself got attacked a lot when I used to live in the United States. first of all, if you have a friend or someone you love and they have an entity has entered them, one of the ways to tell, besides the fact that they'll be way out of character, if you look at their eyes and the pupil, the little dot in the center isn't there anymore. It's just the big dark spot. But the little spot in the center, you can't see it anymore. So that the entity is inside them. And then their temper or what they're saying and what they're doing, it's not them. They're being manipulated. And generally speaking, that when that kind of thing happens, once the thing leaves and the episode's over, they will have no memory of what they said or what they did. That's another telltale sign. How do these things come in?
Restore uses the best of nature to restore your energy.
Yeah, Root Brands chose the best ingredients and enhanced their benefits to create a complete product with everything your body needs to run full of energy all day long.
And it's a perfect aid if you're trying to lose weight, if you're on a vegan diet, or simply want to give your body all the vitamins, nutrients, antioxidant, amino acid it needs for a healthy, active life.
Yeah, and it tastes really good.
It does. It tastes like a dreamsicle, actually.
Yeah.
But it's so good, and it does exactly that. It restores your body, and that's what you need. I mean, when it comes to your DNA and your cells, you want to get those back to cell, and it's almost like reverse aging.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a reason why this product is called Restore, and it is part of the Root Brands Trinity that we use every day, which is pretty much, you can say it's Nourish, Balance, Cleanse.
It does, and it's funny. I mean, that's how we start our morning, actually.
Yeah.
The very first thing we do is we get on these because it's like it just really starts your morning right.
Yep, and so you should do the same. You should go to therootbrands.com/create option C.
Yes, therootbrands.com/create option C.
The people or the thing you want around you and is around you, all of us, is our divine. And then there's a whole list of guides and teachers, and they're there. If we become really angry or really weak, really highly emotional, think of around your body like a force field. You create a gap. There's like a hole. One of the big holes that is easily accessible is right at the perineum, at the between your legs, where it goes up into the first chakra, the Muladhara, is easy access. Now, those things, they will glom on. So you have, let's say this is a guy, and the vibratory frequency he needs so that entities cannot enter him at all is an 8. But his frequency is low. It's like a 5 and a 4, especially if he goes out and he goes drinking. And I'll reflect one of my clients. Let's say his job is working in a really disgusting place where a lot of negative energy is, like a prison. So let's say, his vibration is low because he's very angry. He's full of anger, like I used to be. When I used to get attacked, I was full of rage 24/7. So that lowers the frequency, and that creates gaps. Next, this guy goes, this man's working in a prison. It's loaded with negative, every kind of entity under the sun. Or he happens to make love to a woman who's into black sex magic. And let's say the first lady he makes love with, she's on her own. She got a book on black sex magic and she's having a lot of fun. But he meets another lady, and that lady belongs to a covenant. She belongs to a morphic field of black sex magic. So now he's made love. So he's been like infected with easy access. She's right into him. She's got his heart, his mind, everything. She's using that power source. and he's done. I mean, I can give you the names of different men. They're done. They lost their wives, or the wives lost them, and they're gone. I mean, my Reiki master, Russell Hulk, they're gone. He's gone. Lady got a hold from Mexico. Very powerful. That stuff has power. Now, think about the old, not the garbage Star Wars, the first original three, and Yoda. I just can't stand those. But the good ones, where Luke Skywalker, when he's being first trained by Yoda in Empire Strikes Back, he says, "Is the dark side stronger?" And Yoda says, "No, quicker, easier, more seductive," because it is. And black sex magic is very seductive. So when they do that, so now that's one kind, and it's ugly and it's powerful as hell. I mean, it's powerful. If it's satanic, that's a whole other ball game. Now, some of my clients, I have two ladies, they're being attacked by a sexual entity. When they're sleeping at night, they're matured women, but this thing starts climbing up their legs to their groin. And they called me, and I was able to get rid of them. But they're very stubborn. They come back. So recently, I spoke to the divine about that, because I was astounded that they could come back. And what I'm going to use is a talisman of Avatar Sri Amma Bhagavan. They have to print that off, laminate it, and keep it on their person. And then after I clear them, the entity cannot come back, period. Talisman a talisman, something you wear or you keep on your person, that kind of thing, or like something of Jesus, something of Archangel Michael. And especially if you make a relationship with the divine, that's the key. The key is your relation. If you make a bond with the divine, these things can't come in 100 million miles of you. But if you don't have that, if God is just a word, and you once a week you say some prayers, or you listen to a priest talk or something, that's not a bond. A bond is a living bond. So before I come on this show, I'm connected with my divine. I talk to them. I'm channeling the divine for you through me, so that this isn't just grants information and so forth and so on. It's a bond. So no entity can touch me. I don't give a damn if I walk through 100 billion entities. But in the old days, because I was so angry, I have big holes. So my frequency, this guy's frequency is a 4. The entity's frequency is a 4. And it gloms onto him. If he has an 8, the entity's frequency is a 4. It can't glom onto him. See, it's all by resonance. When they put the graphene oxide into your bloodstream, it's frequency resonance with 25.6 gigahertz.
Right.
That's why they put it in there. That's why they use the 5G. It's all by resonance. If your vibe is high, the entity cannot, because no entity has a high vibration at all, ever.
No, they wouldn't.
Ever. Does that make sense? Have I answered that question?
No,
actually, it makes a lot of sense.
And actually, what you said reminded me of something that the Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith said, and always stuck with me because I loved what he said. He said people think that they're a pond and God is the ocean, and that's not the right way to think about your relationship with God. God is the ocean, and you're the wave in the ocean. That's how close your connection is with the divine.
And it makes sense, though. I like what you were saying, because when you were saying that, it immediately made me think of how when people are on like meds, Well, if you're not on any medication, right, and you're doing all these natural things, it's high vibrational foods,
Right.
right? You're putting on high vibrational foods. You're drinking in high vibrational stuff. If you're juicing and everything's organic and fresh and not genetically modified,
Good point.
it's high vibrational food. But if
That's
you're
right.
putting bad stuff and and junk food, it's not a high vibrational food.
No.
It's going into your system. You're taking over-the-counter medication, again, lower vibration. You're taking prescribed drugs that alter your mind and your cells. So again, low vibration. So you're open to having all these angers and stuff that actually bring you in to what the people say bad luck and entities and all these things that are happening because you're
Yep.
vibrating so low because of all the stuff in your intake you're doing to yourself. So even at your intake, if you're vibrating high, you're not trying to eat bad anyway.
Well, no, that's a good
Yeah.
point, because people will admit that they know that fast food is not good for them, or fill
But
in
they
the
still
blank,
do it.
and they'll go, oh, when I eat this specific Mexican fast food, it really does a number on me. But boy, that's obviously low vibration, and you know it because you
It's
just
affecting your body.
acknowledged it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Your body's vibrating high and you put something in that's knocking it down, you're not high.
right.
So if you're putting in stuff in your system, and that includes whether it's prescribed drugs or over-the-counter drugs, you're still
Yes.
putting it in your system. So it's still affecting your cells,
That's a
and
good
if it's
point.
affecting your health, you are definitely open to entities that shouldn't be there.
You see that water?
Yes.
This water is, I condition this water with the Art Crystal designed by Nassim Harmi. All the water I drink is energetically charged, and it's a perfectly structured, equal to the 0 point energy of the vacuum. What Lourdes is saying, if you guys have any doubt in that, you can just go and look at the work of Emoto on looking at frequency
Water,
of words effect on water molecules, and you can look, like, folks, what Lourdes is saying is so true. You like I actually ran a nutrition company back 2012, and I learned so many things. All of the molecules of the what do you call fast food, all those molecules have been altered by brilliant scientists. That stuff is non-biodegradable garbage.
Yeah.
If you put it, when they look at it on an energy scan,
Zero In will help lead you out of brain fog and into laser sharp mental focus.
Yeah, it's a natural alternative to synthetic stimulants. You get all of your cylinders firing at full force.
And made with turmeric, pine bark, velvet bean seed, and vitamin D.
She looks at me when she says velvet bean seed because she knows it's my favorite ingredient. I just like the sound of it. Velvet beans.
It does. It sounds velvety.
Yeah.
But it's so good because this is food for the brain. And our brain runs our body, you know what I'm saying? So if you think about it, it's like you zero in on what you need to get done.
Oh, see what you did there? Zero in.
Well, that's what I like about the products, that the name means exactly that. For Zero In, it's about the brain, it's about focusing, it's about having it do what it's supposed to do so that you can focus.
Yeah,
I love
literally
it.
take it every morning as part of our regimen. That includes the whole trinity for Root Brands.
Yes.
You should do the same. Go to therootbrands.com/create option C.
Yeah.
it looks like cancer. If you take a natural food that was made by God, by nature, it's got a beautiful, perfect, coherent energy field.
Yep.
So what she's saying, you eat that stuff, and then you think it affects consciousness. Let me ask you a simple question. If you took 150 people that are McDonald's regulars and 150 people that are like vegetarians or vegan is extreme vegans, do you see any difference in the just in the ordinary dinner conversation between McDonald's group?
Right.
Of course, because it's all important, and it's all acting. And by the way, if you want to enjoy entities, take psychedelics.
Mm.
All these people, they think they're going to get enlightened. They're no more enlightened than I am the tooth fairy. All you did was alter brain chemistry.
Mm.
Yes.
Why the heck would anyone trust what they see or hear when they altered their brain chemistry. You
Right.
think Buddha did that?
No.
Or no, but here's the trick. You don't know how many people I've met. They've gone on those into Peru, you know, in the jungle,
Yeah.
and they really got serious entities. And
Yes.
it takes session after session after session, and these things, it's in their bowels, in their stomach. Because when they take that stuff, folks, your field is wide open for anything to come in there.
Sure.
Yep. Oh, I agree.
So that's my answer for that one.
Yeah.
love
And so,
that, yeah.
and so, and what I got from that too is you're saying develop your relationship with the higher being,
Yes.
call him whatever, or her, whatever you want to call him or her.
Whatever you want to call.
God.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
yes.
so, and you also said, develop a relationship with, like, for example, let's just say Archangel Michael. And
Yes.
does that look like having conversations with Archangel Michael? Does it look like accepting him? You know what I mean? Like what would one
Yes.
do to bolster that relationship?
That's a beautiful question. It's so easy. What do you do when you go down to a restaurant or a bar and you meet somebody and you want to be friends? You talk to them.
Sure.
Yes.
With the divine, all you got to do is talk, and I mean talk verbally, talk to them. Develop a conversation and tell them, call them. When you want to call them, always say their name 3 times. 3 times is like a nice dial-up. It'll access, and then just start to talk, and then whenever you feel ready, you say, if you're really listening to me. Joe Dispenza explains this, because everything Joe Dispenza does is all channeled through Ramtha. Ramtha is his divine, and he studied with Ramtha, I think, like 20 something years. So what you do is you say to Archangel Michael, if you're there and you're listening to me, give me a sign. Make it obvious to me that it's from you. So it's not just a circumstance, but show me, let me know. And then he will. Once you see that, your doubts that that this is just an empty exercise will disappear, because the divine will show you. And now, because of that time where we are right now, where humanity's existence is hanging in the balance in the next couple years, it's just, we're right there. The divine is very close. The divine's right there. And the divine never judges you, ever. The divine has never judged anything, ever. The divine doesn't judge because it doesn't even understand what that is.
Oh.
That's why with the divine, when you want to pray or ask for something, you only give it the solution. It doesn't know, it doesn't understand a problem. It only understands the solution. What is it that you want? And then you always, like when these manifesting people say, act like you have it now. That is correct.
Yes.
And that's what the divine understands. But all you do is talk. Select the divine you want and the relationship you want with them. And then you just talk. Say to Archangel Michael, I want to bond with you. I want you to be my personal guardian, and to respond to me right away, and always love me and protect me. And then you go ahead and talk to him. You make your relationship like that, and I can assure you that's what's going to happen.
I love that.
Yeah, that makes so much sense too, because I think of even in scriptures, it actually says when you ask for something, you have to ask for it like you already have it.
Yes.
People always say, I want this, but it's like, no, you have to say, thank you for giving me this. Thank you for this experience. And everybody's always like, I want to have a better relationship. No, thank you for this better relationship.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah. And
if you want to make it even more intense, if you can visualize, put the vision on the right side of the head, if you can't visualize it, like it's hard for me to see pictures, put the emotion how you would feel if you had it right now. How would that make you feel? Feel that. And if you're trying to manifest something, aim to hold that for at least 12 minutes.
Okay.
And you will imprint it.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And Dr. Grant, before we wrap up tonight, we talked at the beginning of the episode about kind of what you do, because I've done sessions with you, and
We
so
enjoy the
we have
sessions with you.
obviously, just as a personal testimony to it, I always feel so light when we're done, like physically feel lighter when we're done with our sessions, and that's the best way I can use to describe it. But people out there that are watching right now, they're thinking, I would like to have a session with Dr. Grant. How would I go about that? So I'll let you take that.
Okay, so my website, folks, is a real simple word. It's just all one word: Depth Healing, all smaller case, .org, and all my contact information there. Just get a hold of me directly on WhatsApp or Messenger, and I'll take care of you. What I basically do is I'm able, with a technology via consciousness, I can go straight into your field, your mind, your past, everything, and I will remove whatever is bothering you, whether it's your health, whether it's your finances, your relationships. A lot of people, if they have broken hearts, they call me. I can take care of that for you. The entity issues, I can take care. I'm a life engineer. The reason Chris says he feels lighter is when I remove all of those things, all clients will always feel lighter, because you actually are lighter. I'm Dr. Sue Morter, the daughter of the man who made the fundamental science I use, Ted Morter, and she calls it gunk, right? So we don't know it because you can't see it, but we're just carrying all this stuff, and all I'm doing is removing it. But as I'm removing it, your consciousness will rise, and when I finish, I give you Diksha. Diksha means I'm able to channel your divine, nothing to do with me. Nothing has anything to do with me. I'm just a channel for you completely. But your divine will come through me into your brain at an enormously powerful, focused way. So it's sort of like praying on steroids. And that kind of blessing's been studied by functional brain scans, and it's going to light up the frontal cortex, especially left prefrontal cortex, like a Roman torch. And it's going to start to dissolve the areas in your brain that make you feel stressed, worried, fearful. Those things just start to disassemble. And one blessing will continue my work for 6 months.
Love that.
So it's an exponentially powerful system. And the key to depth healing versus other systems is I'm able to do things with surgical precision. It's not iffy. So whether it's a cancer, whether it's panic attacks, I don't care what it is, because everything has to come from the field first. I'm going to sneeze. Hold on.
God bless you.
Everything comes. Even Albert Einstein said, the field is the sole governing body of the cell, or of the mind. Everything is from the field, and then that's all it is. It's all fields. And if you join me for the I call it the big picture, on your evening of the 23rd, I'm going to do an event for 2 hours. I'm going to explain about what is destiny, why is your life as it is, how are we designed so that happens, how is it all put together. There's 10 programs altogether. I'm going to describe the first 5 that have to do specifically with us as a person. The other 5 have to do with the universe, and that's over my pay scale.
Got it. I'm looking forward to that evening, the 23rd. So thank you so much again, Dr. Grant, for coming on.
you're welcome.
You're one of our favorites. That's the reason why you are in our in-house quantum field doctor, because I'm always so much smarter when we're done talking. I walk away with a bunch of knowledge. So that's what we're all about.
Enjoy it, yes.
So thank you again
Thank
so
you.
much.
I love both of you so much. I hope your population of viewers grows to be hundreds of thousands.
We'll take that.
They need you.
Thank you so much.
Talk to you soon. Love you.
Okay, love you too. See you later, folks.
So that was part 2 with Dr. Grant, and I'm telling you, we were so grateful.
We're so blessed.
So blessed that we had him for 2 episodes this time, because
Yes.
he's a busy dude.
He is
He's
a big dude,
got a lot going on.
but he has such great information.
He really does.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he's got that thing going on November 23rd.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think
November 23rd for the U.S. and
Yes.
then outside of that, depends if you're in Thailand or whatever.
you
it's
got to do some
24th.
math in your brain to figure out when you're going to see it.
Yeah.
But here for us in the U.S. is November 23rd.
Yes.
Looking forward to it. I'm just because he gives you so much good information.
Yeah, it really enlightens you in so many ways when you listen to what he's got to say.
And actually, if you wanted to schedule an appointment with Dr. Grant, you can go to depthhealing.org. We have the link down here in our bio as well, so you can just click on that. His sessions are absolutely amazing. You are not the same person at the beginning as you are at the end. There's just no way.
Great experience.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And so, like we said at the front of the show, we strongly encourage you to take a look at Root Brands.
Yes. You want to go to therootbrands.com/create option C, register free, because that's what you do. You got to sign up. So you have all that information so you can actually order these amazing, extraordinary products.
Yep. Turn your life around. Give your body the stuff that it needs to make you as healthy as possible.
Yeah. So that your body can actually do its job.
Right.
No, these don't heal. These things don't heal you. They're just giving the compounds and
nutrients
and stuff so that your body can do it itself.
Yeah. Absolutely. And actually, if you want to know more about the Root Brands, we actually did interview Dr. Christina Rahm.
Yes.
If you go to the LourdesandChrisShow.com, you can look at that former episode. Go right to her. She's got so many good, brilliant things to say about these products. She is amazing.
She is one of the many scientists that we got to meet and become dear friends with. She is a loving, empathetic, extraordinary woman that you definitely want to check her out.
And
watch her video and actually look her up.
She's got God on her side, and that's the thing.
She definitely has God on her side, and you see it through and through.
Yeah, if you haven't started following us on social media, it's pretty easy to do so. We're on all the platforms that you see here.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yep. So we look forward to you sign up with that because everything that you like, follow, and share with us really does help spread our message, because you don't know who needs to know the thing that you know.
Yep. That's all I got to say. I agree with you 100%, baby.
Right on.
Yeah.
So go to LourdesandChrisShow.com, sign up for that newsletter as well. You can also donate to our cause by clicking one of 2 links to actually donate. Yep. You're absolutely helping us keep the lights on. There's no donation too small, no donation too large. You're making this mission go forward, and we absolutely love and appreciate you for doing so. And we will see you again in about a week.
Yep, in a week.
At 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because that's how this works Thursday nights, the Lourdes and Chris Show. That's our commitment to you, and we're going to hold on to it. Yes. So much ado until about a week. We absolutely love you, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.